All right, so as you guys see in the title video on thumbnail, obviously you clicked on for a reason. Is it really worth buying a 3DS or the 3DS line in general in 2026? Now, as you guys can see, I'm kind of like a 3DS sort of oriented. I'm trying to lean to a more channel, and of course, I'm gonna be like, oh, you should get it because I like it. Things like it's a lot of different factors nowadays, especially now there's like, you know, that A&Y, I think the A&Y Thor is a thing now, and I'll be like, oh, just because I like you should buy it. No, like it's not gonna be no. So I actually want to sit down as somebody that has had a 3DS for like, oh my gosh, like forever, and trying to talk to somebody that you're on the fence of getting one yourself, or what other options you have. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the usual first point that people want to buy a 3DS, like the first, like the thing that goes in their head is like, okay, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, because I'm 26, I was born 2000, so I remember, you know, what, 2012, I had like my first 3DS, like I had the blue one. I'll put a picture on it, but it's nostalgia really, and I'm kind of the same way. I was like, oh, a lot of these games mean a lot to me because I played them as a kid, so I kind of want, you know, go back and play these games. Yes, there is like emulation and stuff like that. There is different. You play these games any way you want on your computer. I think you play on your phone. You got a good enough phone out. I think the phone is, but you know, there's Steam Deck. There's a whole bunch of other ways you can play, but it just feels different playing it on the actual hardware, which it depends on, like, when you like home console games, I really care. I play my computer, whatever. I don't really get too much, but like, sorry, like portable games, like if I had like a PSP game or like a DS, 3DS, things like that, those are probably on 2 and Game Boy. I kind of like playing those more on the actual console there is, and same thing for 3DS. I like playing my 3DS games actually on the console. That's why I have like I'm getting a capture card put in again for the one I just got. That's the whole thing. I like actually having it in my hand. Some people might, you know, buy with that, some people might not, but that's kind of like my reason I would get a 3DS personally. For other people, like, you know, the library, you can play DS games, 3DS games, you know, the homebrew scene, things like that. It's like, so that you can do a lot with 3DS. Now really looking at it, you can even play Five Nights at Freddy's on your 3DS. That's kind of crazy. You can play Undertale on there. Then we have like Sonic Mania on there too, not Mania Plus, a regular Mania. It's just a whole slew of things, and it's also a really good retro console if you're like into like all the like Nintendo stuff. At least you could play what Game Boy all the way like at least handheld wise, you play Game Boy all the way up to like, you know, 3DS, which is really good. You know, a lot of people do play Pokemon, and you could play basically Gen 1 through whoever Alola is. I believe that's 7 if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a LARPer, I promise. You could play like all those games on there on one console, which is pretty good. And that's kind of like really big turning points for a lot of people. I would say like the backlog, Pokemon, you know, things like that. So people that I think that shouldn't get 3DS are, if it's like a cost sort of thing, obviously I'm gonna say if it costs too much, which it does, the prices for 3DS has gone up tremendously since last year. Like last year I got mine for like, what was it? Not last year, was it 2 years ago? No, 2000, oh my goodness, 2024 I got a 3DS for like around probably like 217, I would say 220, the tax is 20, something like that. Now it's like $300, which is insane. I would say if you're not really trying to spend all that money and there's like other options for you, sure, you know, that's what it is. Like I said, emulation, don't do all that. If you're somebody that finds yourself in the group that you'll like mod a whole console, get everything up and running, and then you end up just not touching it, I wouldn't say, don't waste your time really. It's gonna be a waste of money. Sure, if you're like a collector sort of thing, at least you'll have it. That's one good thing. You want to come back to it, that's all fine dandy. But if you don't see yourself actually like playing this console, it's not really worth it. If you're like more into, you know, super good modern graphics, obviously that'll be dumb you about, well, you're not getting that for no 3DS. Only really the reason I can say you really want one is like another point, like me, I kind of more so would like to play my games in more of a portable fashion, because, you know, I'm always, you know, going everywhere. I don't really, I have a PlayStation like in the living room. I probably only played it probably like 3 times. Not going to hold you. It was like something like Monster Hunter like Wilds beta. I played it because it went on PlayStation for like the longest time. That's the only reason why I like the Switch. It's sort of like the 3DS sort of like ecosystem I like to take with me. That's why I already play it. I like portability. Some people is like best graphics, so like you don't really care for portability. You don't really care for portability, especially. You just get Citra. I'm gonna hold you. It'll be a lot easier for you. And yeah, that's what I think about that kind of aspect. All right, so if you made it this far and you still do want to buy 3DS, let's go over the options for somebody that actually does want to buy 3DS. If you don't care about having all the bells and whistles and you just care about being able to pop in a 3DS game and play, the cheapest option for you usually is a 2DS, which I have like this one right here. It's just the bare bones sort of flat design. Oh good, you can't see. Okay, there we go. Bare bones sort of flat design, things like that. It probably goes, I think, around like $120 for one, if you could find it pretty okay. The screenshots I will be showing on screen are from like their Japanese 3DSs. I feel like if you're gonna get a 3DS in general, if you could find a good deal around you, like at a game store or something like that, that's all fine and dandy. If you can find like something really good on eBay for American one, sure, but usually the best ones to get are the Japanese ones because they're pretty much cheaper and they will like produce over in Japan a lot more, because that's where Nintendo's based out of everything. So I recommend going over there to get one. One thing I will say, which is a problem sometimes driving 3DSs or DSs in general, really, I think like most of the stuff like that, is there will be some cases where you get screen yellowing, which is kind of sucks. That's why sometimes you gotta it's 50-50. There's ways to like go around correcting it. If you have your 3DS homebrewed, you get the application, I forgot what it's called. It's like the one like you have a certain color on your screen, like just that color, like to test like dead pixels, stuff like that. If you leave your 3DS on like an all white screen, it will kind of make the situation go away. I had Smash Bros. What was it? No, not Smash Bros. Smash 4 3DS like that. It had like, it wasn't too crazy screen out at the bottom. It was like, but you could tell it was there. So I like kept it on that white screen like for I think like maybe 5 days, 4 or 5 days, something like that, and it got noticeably better. It was basically gone. It was like a tiny little corner, but I was like, I don't care no more. So there's ways around it. But yeah, back to this area. If you're gonna buy a 2DS, that is your cheapest option. It will give the bare minimum thing to get into a 3DS ecosystem. If you, I played the 2DS a little bit just because I wait for my 3DS to get back in the mail with a capture card. It's comfortable enough. If you have like big hands, you kind of could like grip the whole entire thing with your hand. You probably you literally it's small, but it does get a job done. When I was younger, I definitely did like hate the 2DS sort of like feel. Now I'm older, I'm like actually like holding it in my hand. It feels like it's like holding a phone or like having like the little double screen phones. It's not too bad. If you get used to it, you like that feel, that's all fine dandy. This will be the cheapest way to get a 3DS, and I say it's pretty okay to do it. And then next is the original 3DS, which is your clamshell design. It's still pretty small. I would say it's about as big as the 2DS, kind of sort of, but 2DS is flat, so it's gonna be kind of different ergonomics, everything. And it is a little bit pricier. I think it's like it's not too crazy of a job. I think it's like almost in the 200 usually. I have screenshots, like I said, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's obviously higher than 2DS. That also has the 3D screen. If you care about 3D, a lot of people, 99% of people don't, so I don't really use that at all either. But I do like how the base 3DS looks. Really, it is like the little like, what is it, it's not chrome, but it's like I like the colors, like a little reflective sort of color, and it feels pretty good in hands. You have big hands, it might not be the best for you, but that will be a bit of a, if you want that clamshell design, that would be the go-to one. That's all you care about. If you want a clamshell design plus a bigger 3DS, obviously go with the 3DS XL. If you don't care about all the bells and whistles, still it is bigger, it's XL, and still clamshell design. The buttons, like the home, start, and select buttons, are actually like actual buttons on that one, so I like that a little bit better. And I believe even both like the regular 3DS and the XL, you can have like a Circle Pad Pro, things like that. So you can have like, you know, 2 analog sticks, which is still pretty good. The only thing 2DS can't have, you know, the Circle Pad Pro, which is kind of, I didn't really think about that until like actually saying this out loud. You really can't have a Circle Pad Pro with 2DS, whatever, but you know, you can have a Circle Pad Pro with those. But if you want to get more into customization of your 3DS, I would say the new 3DS, like non-XL, would be good for that. That has, you know, that's the best model you could get. The XL and then the regular, the same, you know, processor, things like that. Both have C-Stick now, so you have that Circle Pad Pro kind of built into it. Better face tracking for 3D if you care about the 3D. A lot of people don't, but you know, some people do. And even when you do have a new system, the new line that is not actually new, but you know, the new line, you can do a lot more with it modded. I know something you can do is NTR viewer, which is you don't want to buy, you know, a capture card, $200, stuff like that. You can do a wireless capture card with it, which is something I've done for like some B-roll footage I have because I didn't have, you know, capture card at the time. It's pretty good. I would say it's like, it's good 75% of the time. I would say it depends on like your Wi-Fi. There's a whole bunch of stuff it depends on. If you do go that route, you do want to do wireless capturing, by the way. If you have like with your internet box, you could separate your 5G from your 2.4. I recommend doing that. It helped me a lot. You just have your 3S only 2.4 gigahertz. No, I'm not. I'm getting a little bit too into it. You know, that's a whole other option. It is kind of, you know, the premium option. You know, the best premium option is the XL version, which, you know, just the same as that. But only that you can't customize like faceplates on it, like how you came with the regular model, and you know, bigger screen, things like that. If you don't really care about price wise, I recommend getting either one of the new 3DS options. If you do want to end up getting a capture card on your 3DS, specifically, if you're like me, you want to do that eventually, the only way you can do it, as far as I know, is getting the XL model, the new 3DS XL, and send it over to Loopy to get your capture card on there. I don't know, he doesn't do the small version, which is kind of sad. I wish he kind of did. Maybe in future will, you never know. But right now, only one to get a capture card is a 3DS XL. So if you don't care about money, go XL. If you're like just want to go bare bones into it, just get a 2DS or get like the regular clamshell 3DS. I feel like those are both pretty good options. All right, real quick editor's note, I forgot about like the new 2DS XL, like the non like 3D one. I forgot about that. I'm not gonna hold you. So that one is I don't like it personally. It's just like the XL, but not 3. Obviously, no shit, it's not 3D. But that one, you know, also option as well. That one goes for like a little bit under getting like the 3D version of it. I would say, like you said, you don't care about the 3D. That's still a pretty good option. You can still do all the new 3DS things, like different games that only support new 3DS, and also the NTR viewer thing as well. You can do all that. It's just you can't get a capture card put into it. So I don't know anybody that does 2DS XL ones. For that one, I personally, and this is like my bias right here, I do not like the feel of it. It feels kind of cheap for it being like the quote unquote new line of systems. Like, of course, like the regular 2DS is supposed to feel cheap. It's for kids. That's normal. But that one feels kind of like cheap, kind of like dollar store phone to me. Some people might disagree. Some people might agree. Some people know what I'm talking about. It feels kind of cheap, but it does have some pretty cool special dishes as well. That's also a cool thing about it. That one, like I said, is like in kind of middle of the price of a like the regular 3DS XL and like the non-XL version of the 3DS. It's also a good option. If you could find that on sale, like I said, you'll still get everything you really need that compared to like the top of the line new 3DS XL. It's still pretty comparable. If you can find that a good deal, I say go for that as well if you can. If you don't like how it feels, which a lot of people don't, especially like the face of it, it feels kind of like it's not like the smooth sort of like feel like every 3DS, like the textured feel, which I don't like personally. So, you know, if you don't like that's all good. Also, I believe, don't quote me on that, I think like the hinge feel for it is kind of weird as well. I had one before, I had like a purple one back during college. I didn't really like it too much, so I kind of, you know, got rid of it really. But you know, that's also an option, but it's still pretty good. It's as good as the new 3DS XL. You know, you can't customize like the non-XL, so it's kind of like the middle of the road for that kind of line also. If you kind of like in the middle ground, you like have the XL, that's probably big. That's probably better if you have like bigger hands like me. So you know, that's also a thing as well. So pricing wise with 3S, it is kind of variable depending on what model you get, things like that. It also kind of fluctuates on if you get like a special edition, like you get like the Fire Emblem Fates special edition new 3S XL, that's like $900. If you get what's the number edition? I think the Pikachu one is probably like 350, something like that. The Pikachu 3S XL, things that there's a whole bunch of different editions. You want to like go on that route, that's definitely going to cost you more than getting the bare bones, you know, just the regular like stock color, things like that. And the best place I would say like to find one, I would start with eBay or Mercari personally. That's how I had the best luck. The one I got for myself recently on eBay was $275, something like that. Yeah, $275. But I did have, it came with like it was complete in box, everything. It came with like a hard shell. I got a good deal. If you like actually down Skyward for a little bit, you may find a good deal. Like I said, eBay, Mercari, and locally I would say as well, Facebook is kind of like, it depends on your area. If you're going to go on Facebook, have somebody go with you to make sure everything goes all right. You know, some people be a little bit weird over there, but you can find some pretty good Facebook deals as well, I would say. And also when you do buy your 3S, a couple things I recommend getting, also it's going to make the price go up a little bit, but it's going to increase the longevity of your 3DS, especially at like the new 3S XL. Those are prone to having the paint chip off for some reason. I don't know why it is like that. Like at least on the bottom, it's easier to replace like the bottom, you know, case key, just unscrew it, put a new one on. But so you know, like I did in the future, I recommend going to Amazon and getting a clear screen protector for it at least. I will also get like, you know, little screen protectors for actual screen as well. Now I said clear screen protector, oh my goodness, I meant a clear like hard shell case to put around it. And also get screen protectors for your 3S. I had like a glass one at first. That one's okay, it's cool, whatever. And at least have a carrying case. If you're gonna take it out of the house a lot, at least get a carrying case. All that should run you probably, I wouldn't say that's over, it depends, I would say like 30 bucks, $35. Let's add tax, $35, something like that. It wouldn't be too crazy, but you know, for having something you just paid probably like $250, $300 for, I think it's very, very worth it to go through with getting, you know, stuff to protect your thing and everything. So is 3S really worth it in 2026? Now it's starting. At first I'm like, you look at my videos like back, I'm like, yeah, go get 3S, but you know, it's starting to get a bit more on the fence. If you really want to get into this ecosystem, like I said, you know, go to DS or everything like that. But there is other options. Like I said, the ANY Thor is about the same price and it could do a lot more. But some people just like having just, you know, their bare bones. Some people like collecting Nintendo stuff. They like just having like the actual console, things like that, which I'm kind of like that. Like I have a Game Boy. I have that modded with like a flash card inside of it, so I have like actual, you know, Game Boy ergonomics, things like that. But still kind of relation, because you know I'm not paying for them Game Boy games. That's a whole nother thing. Game prices 3S is that's a whole nother ballpark. But I would say it's really only worth it if you're like a hardcore, like I like this console a lot, Nintendo kind of person. I would say probably if you want to get it, you have the idea in your head, probably now's the best time if you watch this video, like literally right now, because the price is only going to go up. I don't see the 3S like ever going down in price really, especially like people will get nostalgia and they'll get more money, and people will definitely like, you know, make more videos 3S like how I do, and it will bring more attention to it, and then the cycle to keep going on and on. So if you want to buy one, you have like that idea in your head and you want to regret it later, I say get it now. Try to like look very hard for one. Like I said, eBay, Mercari, try Facebook Marketplace. You can find, you know, some secondhand ones. If you ship it, I wouldn't trust shipping Facebook Marketplace. That's a whole different thing. But you could definitely like get some stuff. If you have like your local game store, I know some have like Black Friday sort of deals and like stuff like that. You want to wait till the holiday. It might go up by then. I don't know. Hopefully it don't. But it's like what, August, September, October, November. You might be okay if you could wait till then. those are cool options too. But yeah, if you guys like to see more 3S fails by me, this is like a little talk video I want to make real quick, because like I said, my 3S is still in the shop. This is not mine. This is what I'm using for like a little bit. I will be coming out with I'll try to have a video out every single week on different, you know, topics, things like that around 3S. Anything you want to see, please let me know down in the comments below. I will definitely love to have some feedback. It will help a lot. I have like probably like 6 videos in my back pocket, so I have something for like 6 weeks. So that's kind of good right now. But anything you want to see, let me know. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and see you.